Hey y'all, it is a cold, dreary day here in Louisiana. It's spring, but we get these days on and off during our spring. And so I thought, what a great day for me to make this recipe I've been wanting to do with all of y'all. And my sweatshirt is a hint. We are going to make scones to go with those, that beautiful clotted cream we made and those jams we made, the strawberry and the blackberry. And so, like I say, it's spring. I think yesterday was 80 degrees here, so I thought I'll burn up if I wear this sweatshirt. But it's cool and rainy today, so hey, it's perfect. That's Louisiana weather, though. And if I had planned it better, I would have worn this to make the clotted cream, and I would have worn my apron from Buckingham Palace to make the scones. But I didn't plan it like that. I'm always running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I'm showing y'all this I got in London, and now I'm going to put this on and tell you the story of this apron. I know my tag's still on here like Minnie Pearl from Hee Haw, because it says Buckingham Palace. But and I know I'm going to have to trade all of this around because my antenna is on my little microphone here, so if it's under here, I'm afraid it'll cut out on y'all. So let's get this all straight while I'm telling you about this apron. Isn't it beautiful? See how pretty? I know a lot of you've already seen it. But we went to Buckingham Palace, of course, while we were in Europe, my youngest son and I and a whole group of us. And one of my friends, Paula, was with us, and her daughter, and we went to Buckingham Palace. We toured it together, and then we were able to split up, and you could look on the grounds by yourself. You could go in the gift shop. You could have lunch there. You could do many things, and then we all had to meet back up on the bus at a certain time to head off to our next destination. And when I got back on the bus with John Tyler and we sat down, Paula, my friend, turned to me and said, "Amy, I saw something in the gift shop that made me think of you, and I had to get it for you, girl." And I thought, what in the world was that Buckingham Palace gift shop for me? And she handed me this apron, and it brought tears to my eyes. She almost made me cry, really, because it was so sweet of her to do that. And she was on her little vacation, but she thought of me. So this one's very precious to me. It says Buckingham Palace right here, too. So I love it. I love it. Thank you again, Paula. I just love this little apron. So like I say, if I'd have planned it better, I'd have worn the sweatshirt one day and this another day, but I didn't. And I also got the flag from England, of course, because any country I go to, y'all know I get their flag, and it's in my game room. And I'm not going to bring it down here. I might use it to make some pictures of these scones later when they're at their little photo shoot. But anyway, let's get started on these scones. I know y'all are like, come on, Amy, come on, Amy. I watched a few people make these. One was a retired chef that was a royal chef of the whole royal family. His name was Darren McGrady, I believe it was. And he doesn't give you his recipe, but I watched him how he made it, and I made them the same size. I'm going to kind of repeat how he does it a little bit, but he doesn't actually give you the recipe. So then I researched some more and came up with the recipe. So anyway, let's get started. And something I got so I could do this was a scale. I'm so excited about this because when you bake, you know how we say 4 cups of something or 3 cups of something or a gram of this or a teaspoon. Sometimes that's not accurate enough when you're baking. And so I know a lot of European bakers, they use scales. So that's what we're going to use today, and I'm so tickled to have it. I know y'all going to want to know where I got it. Of course, Amazon. And it is a nice well. I think it said Amazon's Choice on there, and it's a nice well is what it is. It's battery operated, and that's about all I know. I just looked up baking scales, I think, or baker's scales, and this came up, and I was so excited about it. And it wasn't but about $25, so I thought that was real good. But if you don't have that, please don't let it stop you from making these scones. I've made many things, okay? This is the first time I've used this. I just wanted to get me one. I've been wanting one for a while, so I did. But like I say, don't stop yourself from making scones, if not. And we're making these scones to go with that clotted cream, and I was going to say that if you didn't make the clotted cream, then don't bother making the scones, really. I mean, the clotted cream is a must to go with a scone or a biscuit or a piece of toast, okay? I'm just really wanting to stress the clotted cream. Okay, I've got me a glass bowl. I'm not sure this is going to be big enough for our whole recipe, because we've got to do 4 cups or 480 grams of our all-purpose flour. But I'm going to start with that because I need to find me a much larger glass bowl. Y'all see I've got plenty of big old mixing bowls, but y'all can't see in it. And I know that's aggravating. I'm going to put this on here, and what you do, you tear your scale to go back to 0 with your bowl on it. And I just did that, and it's back on 0. So we're going to do 4 cups, and I'm going to show you how I normally measure 4 cups. But it's to equal 480 grams. Let me make sure of that. I've got my chicken scratch on here. Yes, 480 grams. So I want to see how accurate it is, how I normally measure. And if you don't have a scale, this is how I normally measure. Don't reach in and just pack your flour down. Kind of fluff it about. See, I keep this little scoop down in my flour, and I'll kind of fluff it about a little bit like that. And then I just pour it into, or spoon it into, or scoop it into this right here. Don't tap it like, you know, like you're packing it back. And I'll take the flat side of a blade, just a butter knife or a dinner knife, and do it off like that. I'm going to see how accurate that is to 480 grams. That's 1. Let's go again. Y'all help me count. Y'all know I yak and I'll lose count. 2. Let's see here. I see he's not even. Let me start again. He wasn't even Steven there. He had a big gaping hole in him. That's 2. Okay, fluff my flour, and we're going to make 3. We went to Europe right before, well, the year before the pandemic broke out, so we feel very fortunate we were able to make that trip. We've been supposed to go this past winter to Greece and Italy as a big group of 33 of us again, but that's 3. Y'all see I'm about to forget. But with the pandemic, of course, we're going to wait. We don't want to be restricted wherever we go. You know, we would like to see if we could hold off. So this is going to be our 4th cup. And I'm going to see if this is how close to 480 grams this is, because that's normally how I measure. I try to be a little fluffy so I won't overdo. Ooh, and see that? That's 510 grams. And y'all see, I fluffed it about and everything and didn't pack it down, so it's still too much. Wow. So tickled to have this scale. That's 496, 488. Oh, yeah, I'm getting close. 485, 480, right on the money. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just scoot this forward for a minute, guys, because we're gonna need a little flour for rolling out our scones. I keep wanting to say biscuits, and I'm so sorry. Okay, so I have 480 grams. Now I'm gonna move my little scale. I already measured my other stuff. I just want to do that little flour experiment with y'all. That was all-purpose flour, okay, 480 grams, or 4 cups, right? And the next thing, into our dry ingredients, we need some salt. We need 1 teaspoon of salt, or 6 grams. And when I measured that earlier, when I did 1 level teaspoon, it ended up being 9 grams of salt. So I was like, wow, you know, what a difference. I know. That's crazy. And let's see, we're going to need some sugar. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of sugar, or 50 grams of sugar. And sure enough, that measured right on the money when I did a level 1/4 cup of sugar. Sugar must measure real well. And then baking powder, and this is the kind that we have here, is Clabber Girl baking powder. And we need 1 tablespoon, or 10 grams. And I did a level tablespoon, and it did almost 15 grams when I weighed it. So I'm going to tell you 10 grams of baking powder, okay? I'm not going to say that tablespoon because it easily gets off very easily. Get us a whisk, and we're just going to mix these dry ingredients like that. Just like that. Get them ready. I'm just going to slide those there, and I'm going to show y'all. Y'all know that milk that we cooked off when we made the clotted cream, that on the bottom that ended up being milk, and I said save it, we're going to bake with it. I'm going to make cornbread with red beans and rice, and I'm going to use it in my cornbread, but I also saved 1 1/4 cup. I had to look again. 1 1/4 cup, or how much? I wrote down how much. I can't read my chicken scratch now, guys. There it is, 300 milliliters of that milk. And if you don't have that milk, don't sweat it. But like I say, please make that clotted cream and please have that milk. Use half and half, okay? Because it needs a little cream in it and a little milk. So use half and half would be a real good substitute for what bakes off underneath that clotted cream. So we're going to have 1/4 cup or 300 milliliters. And to that we're going to add 1 large egg. And I got one of my girls' eggs, one of her brown eggs. One of you asked what was the difference between the colors of the eggs. Just the color of the chicken, really. That's about it. And I always, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, any of the people in my life that taught me how to cook, always told me put your eggs in a separate container in case something's wrong or you get a shell even. And so I still do that, but I'm going to put it right over in there in our wet ingredients. I need another little whisk to whisk that little egg in real quick. Just get him stirred in. Make him part of it. Ooh, I can tell this is a rich milk. It definitely has got some of that cream in it. Whoop, I'm back. Okay, guys. Now, before we put our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients, we're going to need to cut in 1 stick or 8 tablespoons or 110 grams of cold unsalted butter, and it's very cold. I went on and chopped it in little bitty tidbits, and I've had it in my refrigerator keeping it cold till I got on here with y'all. So I'm just gonna kind of break it apart in here like that. And now any of the old timers you watch, or Darren, the royal chef, one of the royal chefs, he actually used his hands to put it in there. But I'm going to use this little cutter, this little butter cutter, and I'm going to do that. You could use a food processor, I guess, but I'm not going to mess up, like, I'm not going to make a mess. I'm not doing all that. I've got church to go to tonight. It's Wednesday. And I love going to church in the middle of the week. Just kind of it's my little pep rally in the middle of the week. Oh, you get around other people with smiling faces, and we pray together, and we study the Bible together, and it's like a little midweek pep rally to me. It really is. This butter is cold, guys. I need to cut this in here till the butter is about tiny pea size, kind of like coarse sand, or it's just very well distributed. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I hate to keep y'all on here. I really, really, really do. I want to get this good and done. I'm going to get this all in here real well. I'm going to clean off our workstation and get back on here and roll these out, and we'll put them in the oven. All right, y'all, that didn't take just a couple more minutes, and I cut it in there, and I can see it's tiny little piece size in there. It's perfect. And I've got me a rolling pin. This is a French rolling pin. My grandmother's rolling pin's down in the canning kitchen, so we're going to use this one today. Anyone will work. Next thing we do into our cold butter and flour and everything is our liquid mixture of our milk and our egg. And I just sort of made a well down in here in the middle. I don't know if you need to do that or not. And I'm just going to pour that in there. We get it all. I just got this spatula this weekend shopping at the Beehive. It says, "Make today amazing." And it's got a little rooster on there. I just love it. I was just enjoying it. And it's even got conversion charts on the back of it. I really like that. Okay, guys. Maybe this is going to be big enough for us. Rolled up my sleeves. I got on my smartwatch because I said maybe I'll burn some calories while I make these biscuits. I'll have to let y'all know if that works. I mean, these scones. I said it again. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I do. I know I'm an American girl up here trying to be proper and make scones, aren't I? Now, of course, the royal chef, he used his hands. Of course he did. And I see why. I'm fixing to get my rings off here, guys. We're going to get serious because you don't want to overmix scones. You sure do not. It's a very tender, tender, tender dough. And you just want to bring it together. So the more you work it every time, the tougher they'll get, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, I've got me some more all-purpose flour I'm going to put out here on our work surface. And pour out our dough. I can't wait to try these. I know my hands are messy. That butter is still nice and cold. I see all the little clumps in there. That's wonderful. I used a stick of that Irish butter I had from when we made Irish soda bread. Y'all see, I'm not kneading it. I'm kind of tidying it up. I'm kind of just bringing it together. You know what I mean? To make a smooth surface here. I believe I'm going to call it a day with that. Yes, I am. It needs to be about 1 inch thick, according to all the instructions I read. Let me tighten it up a little more. Let me tidy my hands up, guys. That's about to drive me crazy. Thank y'all so much. I am sorry. I just had to get them clean. All right, about 1 inch thick. Let me see if I can manage that. I'm going to share this with my youngest son. They live real close by. My oldest son, Blake, and his family, they moved on to West Monroe this past year. I was so happy for them. Due to their careers, I guess you would say, but it's just right up the road. But I won't see them today, but I'm going to see them before I go to church, and I'm going to drop these off because John Tyler went with me, so all he and I talk about is this clotted cream and these scones that we had. Okay, oh yeah, I was going to measure with my little chicken measure. Cutest little thing. Let me see if I might be about 1 inch. Actually, I'm a little less than 1 inch. I rolled too much, didn't I? They say make them, you want them to be really thick. Let me scooch them back up there. Everybody get back together. Closer, closer. Okay, guys, and I've got me a 2-inch cutter. That's what the royal chef used, and I thought that. And the next time I make scones, we'll do some flavored scones, like maybe a lemon and poppy seed or something like that. And I'm going to show you what to do then. Like you'll see the triangles. And a lot of people will put that in a long running thing and do triangles. But actually you put it around like this, like a round pie. And you're going to cut it just like you were cutting a pie. You can do that as well on these, okay? But I'm going to stick to the traditional ones that you'll get over there. Over the big pond, and that the queens used to. I'm dipping my cutter, my 2-inch cutter, into my flour. And don't twist, because that also can cause your little scone to not rise as much. That first one never wants to come out as easy because it doesn't really have any flour stuck on there. Let me get my pan. I've got me a baking sheet. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. And now, this time it ought not stick. Oh yeah, now it's got plenty of flour on there. No twist, that's so hard. I want to twist. I want to twist. These are so thick they don't want to come out of this little cutter. That's okay. We're getting them out. I'm just being real careful and tender with them. I don't want to waste one little piece of that, so I'm going right close to one another. I won't make y'all sit here and watch me do this. I don't guess. No, I won't, because I might take too long, huh? I know. If I had a story, I'd tell you a story. I just don't know if I can think of a story right now. Just that quick, I thought of a story. I know y'all wasn't going to give up on me with a story, something to yak about, huh? Let me try to move y'all up just a little bit. While we were there on the tour bus, our tour guide, he stayed with us the whole time we were in Europe. We were riding down this main strip there in London, England, and he pointed out this hotel. And he said, can y'all see that hotel? We were all like, yeah, yeah. He said, I know y'all know the famous group. They were real popular when I was in high school, U2. Y'all know who I'm talking about? I loved a lot of their songs. They were great. I just liked their sound. Well, he said that they tried to stay at that hotel, and I don't remember the name of the hotel. I should have researched that, but my goodness, if I researched everything, I researched a lot before I get on here, and then I just never would get on here. But it was a hotel right there in that mainstream in London. Said that they went in to stay there, and they were not popular yet. U2 was just starting out, and they weren't popular. When they went in to try to rent a room, the person behind the counter said, oh, no, y'all are a singing rock group or whatever kind of group, a band, whatever, and no, y'all aren't welcome to stay here. And so I don't know which one it was. I can't remember, but if it was the lead singer or the drummer, it was one of the guys in U2. Wasn't real ugly, but he said, you know what? We're going to get famous and we're going to get successful, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy this hotel, just sort of like, it was just embarrassing, that was just ugly to do to them. And so, because they weren't good enough, well, sure enough, y'all know, if you know U2, yeah, they did get successful. And guess what? Yes. He went back and they bought that hotel. One of them did, or some of them did. I don't know. And I just thought that was fantastic. I thought, what a great way to validate your success is I'm going to go back and buy that hotel. It said I wasn't good enough to stay there. I just thought that was fantastic. And like I say, they weren't ugly or anything. They just took their success and showed, hey, guess what? We're good enough now, not only to stay here, but to buy this place. So I just thought that was a neat little story. I was real happy for you too. I was. So that was just cool. And he told us about a lot of their songs, like Streets with No Name. He told us what was behind that, because there are streets with no name. And I believe it was during a wartime. So it was really neat to learn all that. Okay, y'all see, I used a 2-inch cutter on that amount of dough. Y'all see I have very little dough left over. I do have some dough left over, and y'all know my chickens will get those, because you can reuse this. They're just not going to be as pretty on top, okay? So I'm going to bake those separately. I'm going to make some for my little chickens. They'll love them, especially because I have one of their eggs. They deserve some of this, don't they? Okay, aren't these beautiful? So I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 of them. Wow, okay. I've got more of that milk that we baked off from our clotted cream. You can use heavy cream. You can use an egg wash if you want to, okay? Any of those. Be careful though when you do it not to let it run down all over the side of your scone, because it might bind it and not let it rise as much. So just on the top. And that will do. I'm trying to think of some of the wonderful things we did. We went to so many museums and the Parliament. Oh my goodness. We rode the subway, and they don't call it the subway there in London. They call it the tube. And I loved it. I videoed a lot of that. There would be beautiful saxophone players and stuff down in there playing just to earn some money, and they were just gorgeous sounding, so we would stop and listen to them. And we would just ride the tube to get from one place to other to learn how to do it, because you couldn't get on just one. One might be going this direction, one's going that direction, so you had a whole schedule. And I even recorded some of that, us sitting there, because of how it sounded. It would be like, well, I'll slaughter it, but it would just be this beautiful, beautiful English sounding voice saying, "To Parliament," you know, and it was just so beautiful. So I was recording that. So maybe I'll look some of those up, like I did the ride in the National Park in Ireland. Maybe I'll do that and play a little clip here and there so y'all can see some of our tube experience. But we had a grand time there in London. Rode that big, huge Ferris wheel thing. The Ferris wheel thingy, you know, we rode that. It was just great. Great. Some of us rode that, not all of us. All right, guys, into our oven, and these go for 15 to 20 minutes. Just depends on how golden brown you like them in your oven. And one thing else I want to tell you is to get out your clotted cream that we made together. John and John Tyler have been eating on it in the morning on plain old American biscuits. And some of your jam, strawberry jam and blackberry jam that we made together. And this is all I have left. Y'all know I had 5 jars of each. This is all I have left. That's how much they have been devouring that, waiting on me to make this other stuff. So I got to make some more jam, don't I? I'll be back, y'all. I know y'all seen me scraping this before, but just in case somebody hasn't seen that, that's actually what these little bench scrapers are for. I use it when I chop onions and bell pepper to pick them up and put them in the pot. But it's a bench scraper, and this is our workbench, and we're scraping it, aren't we? We're actually using its namesake today. You see how nice that makes cleanup. So very nice. Otherwise, like my grandma taught me one time, I wanted to wipe all that flour up with wet rag, and she said, "Oh no, darling, we can't do that because it makes glue." Of course, she's telling a little kid that made glue, and all I want to do was make glue after that. Guys, while we're waiting on these scones to come out of the oven, I get so many sweet messages from y'all and comments that I'm overwhelmed by them. I really am. And sometimes it takes me a long time to answer y'all back. It may be a week later before I actually have some time at midnight or so to start looking at some of my comments and messages. So I'm sorry it takes me so long, but just know that I'm going to eventually look at them. And some of them are just unbelievably sweet and kind, or most of them are, and uplifting to me, and some of them just touched my heart so much. Some of you have told me, more than one person has told me that their mother liked to watch me, and she was literally on her deathbed, and she still liked to watch me, and they would have to keep their phones charged up for mom to watch, and that they're thanking me because I added a little joy in their mother's life before she passed on. And I've heard that from more than one, okay? That is amazing to me. This one is from Jacqueline is her name. My sister's name is Jacqueline Renee. So that really sticks out to me. And it's sweet and wonderful. And I want to read it to y'all just because I'm always sharing what people send me. But people send me wonderful little gifts of messages too. It says, "I really love watching you. It will be a year in May, and I have head trauma. I don't speak right anymore, and my memories are shot. I feel like I'm a kid, so I have lost a lot of memories since I've been in bed a lot and not able to remember a lot. I've been wanting to write everything down as to before my fall. My kids say I just knew all my recipes, and they miss my cooking. You, my dear, cook a lot like I used to from what I've been told." Bless her heart, she can't even remember that. Oh. "So, for now, I've been saving your videos so in hopes my head and my neck surgery, I can write them out and print a picture of the dish with the name, and then I plan on sealing the plastic sealing with plastic. I can't remember the name, but so they don't get spots on recipes, and making me a book of recipes. And my family love. I was very depressed because I couldn't remember, and my kids and husband said they missed my cooking until I found you, my dear. And I want to thank you so much for what you do, and let you know you have given me something I never thought I needed. So please don't stop doing your videos. I said I wasn't going to cry, because I'm sure I'm not the only person whose life you have touched. One never knows who or how you may touch a person's life, and I truly believe the Lord put you on my wall for that purpose. Thank you so much. Woo! I get these all the time, y'all. And you see, that is just as that was hard for her to take out that time and to get that written down, even if she had to. She can't even speak right anymore, so she had to do most of that, and if not all of it. And wow, right? And so she's inspired me, because we're not given, sorry, I touched my microphone, we're not promised every day. And she had a fall apparently and had this head trauma. And so, you know, that could happen to me. And my family wants to know lots of recipes too. And a lot of y'all just want a recipe book from me. And I am unbelievably busy with our businesses. But I promise you, that's right here, you know, for any second I get. Some of it I'm starting to take pictures, and I appreciate y'all bugging me. Amy, I need that recipe, because y'all see a lot of them I don't have written down, most of them. So it's making me go back, because the same thing could happen to me like happened to Jacqueline. And I also read that to y'all because please, if you would, put her on your prayer list and keep her in your prayers and thoughts and positive thoughts, because pray that it's God's will for her to heal from this, and so she can make that recipe book. I'm thankful I'm there for her, and she blessed me way more than I could ever bless her by letting me know that. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. I know. I might be laying in the bed at 1 o'clock in the morning waiting on my video to finish. I have to get it all put together and edited, and then I have to let it finish, and it actually redoes the video into an MP4, so then I can download it onto Facebook and YouTube and wherever else I end up putting it. So I'm just waiting at that point, and so I'll start reading some of y'all's comments. And so I'm just laying in the bed late at night crying to some of these, and I stop and I pray for these people. And at the same time, it's giving me joy and blessing me to hear these things. So anyway, I'm going to shut up yakking. Just please keep Jacqueline in your prayers, please, please. And we're going to get these scones out in just a minute. I almost said biscuits again. Do y'all hear that? They're ready. I'll be back. Let me get them. Let me get them. Ooh. We made scones, y'all. Let me bring them up here for a close-up. Aren't they beautiful? Beautiful little things. Yes. I know y'all see I ran up to my game room and got my flag out that we bought there. I love it. I love to say that I've been to that country and actually bought that flag in that country. I just love that. I'm going to get these out. I'm going to let them cool for about 5 minutes, and we're going to put some clotted cream and some jam on them. The longest 5 minutes ever. Oh my goodness, I can't wait, guys. I cannot wait. I meant to grab me a little dinner knife to cut into one of these. Let me get a nice pretty one here. They're all pretty though. Yes, they are. They're still warm, but nice and cooled. Oh my, oh my. Isn't he pretty? He's so pretty. Look how nice and golden colored they are on the inside. They're very yellow. I guess from the butter and that heavy cream we put in there off this clotted cream. Okay, guys, this is something that's really serious in Europe. Some people put the clotted cream first, some people put the jam first, and people are very serious about that over there. Yes, they are. I'm going to put the clotted cream first. I hope I'm not offending anyone. And some people, the queen likes jam first with the clotted cream on top of the jam. I learned that from her royal chef. Yes, I did. Mr. Darren McGrady, is that what I said? Here's some strawberry jam. Listen. Did y'all hear that? Yeah, fresh, fresh. See, it's still got that foam on top like John likes. And I want to show y'all, I know I didn't show you on the video, see how nice and spreadable it is when you don't put the added pectin in there. It doesn't like really make it form gel like, so it's nice and spreadable. So that's why I just use its own pectin and don't add it only on this. Oh my goodness gracious alive, yes. I wish I could hand this through whatever you're watching this on so bad. You just don't know. You just don't know how much I want to do that so badly. Is that not beautiful? Oh my goodness. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna take a bite. And I know y'all see I take big bites. I guess that's a Southern girl thing. I don't know, but I watch myself reach back. I'm like, I didn't watch you take such a big bite. That is so good. So good. It reminds me of being on the bus riding around in Europe. These little scones are so very tender, so very tender. And them alone, because I kind of ate on one before I got on here with y'all, just by itself. And that little quarter cup of sugar makes them kind of just right to eat just by themselves. You can make you some tea. Or over here, a lot of us have us a cup of coffee. This would be great with a cup of coffee. Chicken scones. My chicken scones are ready. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. They're nothing to shake a stick at either, are they? They're beautiful. I got some lucky chickens, don't I? There we go. I'm in here doing my photo shoot, guys. I'm shining the light and my clotted cream. I know I sound like a redneck trying to say clotted, don't I? Let's see here. I'm going to have to come up with all this, what I'm going to do. I do this sometimes, guys, and we'll be needing to eat supper, and poor John, he just sits over at the table and he just smiles. He lets me be me, and I let him be him, so we make us a good little couple. Yeah, we do. Okay, y'all. All right, get this light on there. Look pretty. Look pretty and smile, little scone. I know when we were in Europe, our tour guide was English, Matt, and he said scone. And we said, oh. So I thought, well, is that American way? But no, some people over there say scone. And then we had a Scottish bus driver when we were in Scotland, and he said scones. So whichever way it is, it's delicious. Okay, guys, I got to get going this time.